And finally, I'd like to look at the question of dignity and privacy, and what happens when boys insinuate themselves into the girls' locker rooms. Yeah, Francis.
I will say it's happened to me before. When I was 14 years old, that same man was in my locker room. There's currently a boy in the Tumwater High School girls' locker room who is using the restroom and the locker room. Girls have gone to our principal, Zach Suderman, in the administration and complained about it and said that they are uncomfortable. And what they were told is that if they have an issue with it, they can go somewhere else to change, but they are not guaranteed that that boy will not be in there either. And so us girls are having to go into our locker rooms wondering, is there going to be a man or a boy in here? And we know that if there was, no one would do anything about it. But when there's a boy added into that mix, let alone a man, that makes it awful. That should not happen. And I do not consent to that. Other girls do not consent to that. And we are being told by the people who are the head of our high school and the head of our school board area that it's totally normal, and if we have an issue, we can go somewhere else, but they're not guaranteed that he won't be there either.
I mean, it is maddening. It is the thing that frustrates me the most. It's the thing that I talk about the most. I talk about safeguarding the absolute most. And for those of you, some of you may have actually heard me say this before, but I think many of you will not have. One of the things I say to try to put this in perspective, in the United States, women have had to fight to say, you know what? It's even rape if it's your husband. So that is a fight that we had to make that said, even if this man has a special relationship to you, even if he's a very special man, he still does not have access to violate your boundaries. Then we had a whole Me Too movement where we said, even if he's a celebrity, even if he's your boss, even if you went on a date with him, even if he is all those things, he still does not have a special privilege to violate your boundaries. But now it's 2026, and we are still telling girls that there is a special category of boy who can violate your boundaries, and you can't say no. And we have known as humans since almost all of time that there is an asymmetry of harm between men and women. We know this. And somehow we are telling our girls not to trust that same instinct. Safeguarding expert Gavin DeBecker has written an amazing book on safeguarding. He talks about the intuition. The root of the word intuition is to guard, to protect. Throughout that book, he nails into women and girls, trust your intuition, trust your instinct. But again, here we are in 2026 telling girls to disregard their instincts, ignore their instincts, ignore their boundaries, and to pretend that there is a special category of man that gets to violate their consent. You can't say no or you're a bigot. And it is insane.
Then you have different laws that come into place requiring that schools be gender inclusive. And that is what Francis was talking about. When you go in and say, hey, I have a boy in my locker room, we're required to be a gender inclusive school. It's state law. They can go where you can choose any gender that you want. And not only that, but I've been told by administrators that they not only have to affirm what's going on, but they have to help facilitate it.
It doesn't matter if you're a top tier athlete. It matters for your privacy and for your safety. You shouldn't have to worry about walking in and seeing a boy playing against you or being scared. It happened to my teammate. She got hurt and had to be taken off the court. It doesn't matter. People say, well, it doesn't really happen. Well, it does. It is going on. They're just hiding it away from people and not putting it in the light where it deserves to be. People deserve to know what's actually going on. And they call girls like me a liar, and they say, no, it isn't, but it is. And it's happened to me, and it's happened to other girls. I think they're trying to scare people into speaking up and acknowledging that it is a real thing and a real issue.